Well, Bob Mabena is notably one of the most recognized voices on radio and faces on TV. With a career spanning 30 years, he has managed to solidify himself as a respected broadcaster by the younger and the older generation. Bob Mabena has lived a life of fame as the poster boy for radio, for TV, music and much more. We spoke to him about his journey from his days at Bob TV and radio up until now. Let's have a look.
All right, well, welcome to Morning Live and thank you so much for joining us.
Pleasure, thank you very much.
You know, your career spans over 30 years. You started with Bob Radio,
yes.
And some might say it was really the birth of black excellence in radio. How have you managed to sustain your career for so many years?
Well, this might sound cliche, but it's the passion for it. And I think it's the fact that when I started, when I was in matric, there was no confusion about what I wanted to do. There was no, maybe I could do this or that. It was always going to be radio. So I zoomed in on it, I focused on it, and going forward, I got interested in what else in the field of radio can I do, from programming to managing a radio station to sales to everything else, because it's got so many layers. When you're outside, you only think of the radio presenting thing, but there's so much, and every year actually there's a new job in radio.
Right, now, having started your career 30 years ago, you're celebrating 30 years in radio.
Yes, indeed.
How would you describe, you know, your journey in entertainment?
Sure, ups and downs, tumultuous, good, the bad. I mean, there are some things I remember saying and I cringe right now, you know. It's like, ooh, I can't believe I said that. But, you know, having been honored by my peers, you know, when I was doing television, winning the TV Presenter of the Year award and the radio Presenter of the award, that gave me a nod that at least the people that I work with appreciate what I do, and they're giving me a thumbs up that, you know, you're not too bad, lad.
You know, these days, a lot of, let's say, celebrities, in order for them to, you know, achieve the fame or the success they want, they dabble in radio, and then there's TV, there's social media, there's this, there's that. But with you, you've been very consistent with what you're doing on radio. Was that like a conscious decision for you?
Oh yes, absolutely. TV was just a side gig. It has always been a side gig for me. When I started on Bob TV, someone was leaving a show and they were like, can you sit in for a few days? Next thing I know, I was doing it for a long time. With Studio Mix, Studio Mix was first pick a tune, and then I was a guest, and then they were like, can you do this? So TV has never really been, there was never any confusion, but radio, because of its multifaceted ways, and because I think radio is more creative than any other media type.
Let's take it back to when you started.
Yeah.
How you got involved with radio. Did you at that time ever think that you would achieve the amount of success that you have?
All I wanted to do was be in the studio and broadcast. Even, you know, I always say that when people say, but how did you get in? Like, get in. It was really by sheer luck. It was not because of I was brilliant and I was put on. I mean, I was always knocking on doors. All my demo tapes were rejected by what was Radio 5 at the time, Radio Bob, and, you know, I sent demo tapes and I was rejected. And then when I arrived in Bob, I went for auditions and they were like, nah, too young and too weird, you know, no, you're not going to get this. And for some strange reason, someone made a mistake on air or something happened and they were looking for somebody. So where's that guy that never leaves? You know, let's give him an audition one last time, and then we chuck him out of the building, because I was always there every day at reception, you know. Yeah. So I just happened to be there when there was a gap, and they put me in there, and the rest is history.
The rest is history. But who would you say is your inspiration? Who inspired you?
Oh, a lot of people, from Kansas City to, you know, and I think that's what has really sustained my career, in that I've never really looked at one person and said, that is it. I've looked at different people, Malindin Dooley, Tim Modise, Boogie Harry Cohen, again, Kansas City, probably the biggest. Your John Burke's of this world. It's just a myriad of people that have influenced me, that I've looked at and thought, wow, this is great. I could do it, but I could do it differently. You know?
You're a family guy. You have children, but you've got this career as well that you that keeps you so busy. How do you manage to find a balance between the two?
I avoid balance. I think balance is a job by itself.
Yeah.
Because if you're trying to find balance, then balance becomes the job. It's like, ooh, I gotta find the balance. So I try and find a rhythm. Some days I'll do more of something and some days I'll do less of it. I just let it flow, because if you are seeking balance, you'll never get anything done. You'll always be planning, like, what am I going to do? Oh, I haven't done this. I haven't gone out with my wife. You let it flow and you do a reflection of sorts, and then you let it flow. Balance it is really a job on its own.
So you recently were part of a documentary that Red Bull did, Raven Resistance.
Yes.
Maybe tell us about how you got involved with that and why you maybe thought it was an important thing for you to be a part of this project.
Oh man, I mean, when this project was focusing on a very wonderful part of South Africa that I think its time had come to be told. Those people who are in the background, because half the time when we talk about revolutionaries within the entertainment industry, we talk about your Miriam Makebas, rightfully so, your Huma Sikelas, and those artists or people in the humanities who made their voice heard about the injustices of this country. But there was another battle being waged by the boom shakas of this world, who were like, they may not have been in exile or anything like that, but their lyrics, their rebellion and everything else that they did was so anti-establishment that it made people sit and watch. And also the revolutionary side of it was also artistic as well. So it wasn't just about against the system, it was about the everyday norm. Things had to change, and the appreciation of the fact that these guys saw the change and they went with it.
You've already done so much in your career, but what can we as South Africans expect to see from you moving forward?
Oh, the sunset. I tell my kids that, and again, I suppose it's an age thing, should we're all gonna die, right? And I say to my kids, well, should anything happen to me between now and tomorrow, every day I say this when they give me time to, never grieve, because my goodness, I have lived.
For any African child that is out there that's looking at you and that's admiring your success, what advice would you give those kids, for them to be able to break into the industry, but also be able to sustain a career in the industry as much as you have?
There is no time. There really is no time. So don't be distracted. Once you found your niche, your passion in something that you want to do, don't be distracted. Get it done well, and then you can do other things. Because right now, with us back then, it was easier to get in. I mean, not many people wanted to be the radio DJ. They didn't know how to. Even I didn't know how to. All I knew was that I wanted to do it. A mistake happened, I was in. Right now, there's gatekeepers, there's haters, there's cousins and aunts, and the gates are closed. So you have to do. It was a little bit easier, I must admit. So right now you have to do so much more to get in there, because everybody and their dog is a DJ now. There's DJ Mantras, DJ Lepanta, DJ Ear, DJ Eyelash, everywhere. So one needs to really focus and get in there and make sure that if the door is not open, you use the back door. Go around, go into a radio station, make coffee for the breakfast show guy, be his lackey, be useful. At some stage, they're going to find themselves not being able to live without you. That's one trick that I always talk to people that attend my radio classes at. But focus for me is the best thing, because right now it's so much easier to be distracted by so many things.
You know what I mean? Caterpillars in your back jeans. The party is in your mind, so slide and glide. Come on, do this G-funk thing. Chickity check yourself before you wreck yourself, yeah.